Integrated Pest Management, or IPM for short, is a process you can use to solve pest and disease problems while minimising risks to people and the environment. IPM can be used by beekeepers to manage all kinds of honeybee pests and diseases anywhere, in the city, on the farm, or in the bush. Why should a beekeeper practice integrated pest management? When pests or diseases are not identified or not managed effectively by the beekeeper, honeybee colonies can be at risk of weakening or dying. These pests and diseases may also spread to neighbouring colonies and apiaries, creating a widespread, ongoing problem. Major economic losses can result for the beekeeper directly affected, as well as beekeepers nearby. Growers requiring pollination services can also be affected as there are fewer healthy colonies available to pollinate crops. This introduction to integrated pest management walks through the practical steps beekeepers can take to find, minimise, and either prevent, eradicate, or manage pests and diseases in their colonies. Detailed pest and disease biology and management information can be found on the Department of Primary Industry's website. Hoping for the best for your honeybees and doing nothing to inspect and manage your colonies for pests and diseases is not an option. A lot can happen between honey flows. Healthy bees start with the beekeeper. How to do integrated pest management. IPM is the most effective strategy for proactively managing pests and diseases before they do irreversible harm to one or more colonies. IPM is integrated. Beekeepers integrate multiple methods for prevention, control, and management of pests and diseases. IPM is focused on pests and diseases. Every beekeeper is responsible for being able to identify and understand the biology of pests and diseases. There's no bee vet you can take your honeybee colony to tell you what's wrong with it. Beekeepers need to be able to identify pests and diseases or know how to sample them and send suspect samples to an accredited lab such as New South Wales DPI's Elizabeth MacArthur Agricultural Institute. And beekeepers need to be able to evaluate the pest and disease levels and know at what point management is required. The goal is to keep pests and diseases below their dangerous thresholds. IPM is management of pests and diseases in an integrated way. Beekeepers take steps to eradicate or control pests and diseases when they find them at levels that are dangerous to the colony. There are usually several types of management options depending on the specific pest or disease. If you've never heard of IPM before, don't worry. Chances are you're probably already using this strategy on a pest or disease. Let's walk through IPM for Australia's endemic pest, small hive beetle. IPM for small hive beetle integrates multiple methods for its control. Cultural prevention and control is the largest part of the IPM pyramid, followed by mechanical control, and then chemical control as a last resort to control dangerously high levels of small hive beetle. Cultural prevention and control to reduce small hive beetle reproduction is the first step. There are many cultural means to control small hive beetle, including maintaining strong, healthy colonies with a good bee population to comb ratio, keeping your apiary orderly and hygienic. Dead colonies, frames, and beeswax scraps should be removed and stored appropriately, for example in cold storage, or in a container which has been fumigated by a chemical licence holder. The apiary ground should be kept free of thick grass and leaf litter, which makes the ground more suitable for small hive beetle to complete its life cycle in. Using beetle traps with a non-chemical control agent such as vegetable oil. Using ventilated bottom boards. Storing hive frames and equipment to prevent beetle access, such as in cold storage or in a container which has been fumigated by a chemical licence holder. Taking care during any hive manipulations. Be efficient and brief in all hive manipulations. Take care no frames are stuck together because this prevents bee access and protects beetle larvae. Avoiding areas of known high small hive beetle populations during high-risk times, such as in hot, humid conditions, and appropriately disposing of combs or equipment previously heavily infested with small hive beetle larvae because it repels honeybees and attracts more small hive beetle. For full details on cultural control methods, search for New South Wales DPI's Small Hive Beetle Management Options Fact Sheet or the Ag Guidebook Healthy Bees. Mechanical controls are used to kill small hive beetle by physical means. There are several mechanical means to control small hive beetle which include using beetle traps with a non-chemical control agent such as vegetable oil or diatomaceous earth where legal. Killing small hive beetle by hand may be workable with only a few hives. Trapping beetles in shucks cloth or other rough fabric placed between the hive lid and top bars of frames is another form of mechanical control. Chemical controls are used as a last resort to kill small hive beetle when levels are so high that cultural and mechanical controls aren't enough. Chemical interventions include legal, commercially available harbourages such as Apithor and Topbait. These products use the synthetic pesticide fipronil and may be required when small hive beetle populations reach damaging levels. Integrated pest management will improve the health and productivity of your honeybees, whether you've got one colony or thousands, and have positive effects on your business profitability if you're making a living from beekeeping. Benefits will also flow on to other beekeepers nearby and to growers who rely on pollination services. Knowing what safe, legal and responsible chemicals to use also contributes to safety for honey consumers and the environment. Get into IPM for beekeeping at its best.